All right, police investigations still underway. What we're debating tonight is do politicians and celebrities, movie stars, do they struggle with the social media? Does it diffuse the difference between what's public and what's private? What are these the pitfalls of the medium? For more, let's get in a word from Shaina NC. She's a BJP spokesperson, also a close friend of Sunanda Pushkar. She's joining us this evening from the national capital. I also have with me Alik Padamsee. He's a communications expert. He's joining us from Mumbai this evening. Thanks both of you for speaking to Headlines today. I'd like to come to you first, Mr. Padamsee. We saw Sunanda Pushkar taking on Meher Tarar on Twitter. What she was actually doing was putting her most private insecurities and making them public. Do you see that as a cry for help?
I see it as more than a cry for help. I think an invasion of privacy in areas which perhaps a husband and wife can settle in the bedroom or wherever, and this sort of thing just exaggerates it. Something that is sad suddenly becomes a tragedy, and I come from the theatre and I know what I'm talking about. So you've got to be very careful. I think I'm all for Twitter, I'm all for the digital media and all the wonderful inventions that are going on, but there has to be a line drawn somewhere. Irresponsible tweeting could create enormous problems for the individuals, whether they're a celebrity or a non-celebrity. You can't just jump on it and suddenly make it a fact. As soon as 1,000, 2,000, 1,000,000 people are on Twitter saying the same thing, it suddenly becomes a fact. And it's just a rumor, it's just hearsay, it's just what we call word of mouth, whispers, Whisper, oh, is she really having oh, I see, oh my God, and all that sort of thing. And there has to be a line drawn, and there should be a very strict law against libel, telling lies on Twitter. That is something that definitely must be stopped, whether it's a politician or a movie star. That must be stopped, and people responsible for it should be brought before the law.
All right, let's also get a word from Shaina NC, who's joining us from the national capital. Shaina, you knew Sunanda pretty well, and she's someone who everyone says was very outspoken, very bright, really vivacious. So how do you see her Twitter comments where she leveled allegations of an extramarital affair on her husband and Meher Tarar? She also hit out at this Pakistani journalist, accusing her of trying to reach out to her husband while she was undergoing treatment. Does it sound like someone who you knew?
Let me please correct you. I knew her socially, and I had met her once at Salman Khan's residence, and she seemed extremely vivacious and full of life, etc. But I think the larger question here is what this case highlights is two things. One is heard of these kind of stories in the West where you've had high-profile couples and disastrous marriages, etc. But this is a rare phenomena in India, and I'd like to question where our social and moral fabric has gone, and has it disappeared at all, because we need to go back to where we've come from to engage in a healthier family system, etc. But having said that, I think the question here about the tweets is something that we need to recognize, because just a couple of days ago she was alleging about an ISI agent, etc. And this is a very important case because this is the death of a minister of the government of India. We need to investigate completely to find out under what circumstances has she committed suicide. Is it some foreign agency who's involved? Is it a case of absolute complete depression? Whatever it is, because you need to identify and come up with what the truth is. These kind of Twitter wars that one has been seeing, I think, is a bad forum when it comes to bringing out your dirty linen in public. But having said that, since she had a lot of question marks vis-a-vis a so-called agent from Pakistan, whether she is an agent, whether she was with the ISI, whether she just had a relationship with the union minister, all of this needs to be unfolded, because eventually you're talking about a high-profile public figure who has been married to somebody and who has lost her life. So I think we need to ensure that a woman in this country needs to have that natural justice given out to her.